so I don't forget, like I have at least once before. So today is October 7th, 2021. It is 11:07. This is the River Valley's Unified School District Policy Committee meeting. Let's start with finding the agenda. Any additions or deletions to the agenda, either of you?
None.
If we have time, I'm going to bring up E1, which is, give me a second, got to pull it up again. It's Title I, Part A, which is very recently been updated by EA, and possibly C26, I believe it was, which we've been waiting for an update from the VSBA for quite a while, and we did finally get that, but I got it after I put the agenda together, so we may just wait on that. So anyway, those two possible additions. There is no public. Minutes of April 9th, May 14th, and June 11th. Kate, did you get those?
I don't know if they could. Okay.
I sent them in a separate email because I had forgotten to link them on the agenda. Tammy, I don't know if I included you.
I remember seeing the email.
Okay.
Get the email.
Yeah.
You found it?
Yep.
Okay. Your hair is growing back pretty fast.
Yeah, and it's because I think we're at like 2 months or something like that, and it's in this like weird like stand up phase.
That's been fun.
Yeah, I think it actually looks pretty cool.
It's so funny like how it goes through all these different phases and such. And I've been told I should keep it short, and I'm like, but I think I don't know, I might do another donation.
That's cool.
Yeah, we'll see.
I've never listened once to somebody that told me how I should keep my hair. People like me to have hair. They don't like me to have hair. Every 2 or 3 months I shave it and I start all over again.
Yep, it's easier that way.
Exactly.
I don't see any red flags in the minutes at all.
Okay, do you want to make a motion to accept them?
I would love to make a motion to accept the minutes from May 15th, April 9th, and June 11th.
How about May 14th? Or did I type it wrong? Where did I type it wrong, maybe?
Draft minutes is May 14th, and then
Yeah.
it was April 9th was attached, and then June 11th. Is that
So, yep,
okay?
9th, 14th, and 11th. So I will second that. Any comments?
Just
None.
looks like to me that there were no administrators present, so.
There was at one of them, and I had forgotten to record that one, and I couldn't remember who it was. But
I don't think it was me. I don't remember attending the last 3 meetings. So it must have been Matt.
Don't think he was here for very long. I think he came late and we had gone through most of the agenda already. So, but I had forgotten to hit record on that one, so I couldn't go back and look. So if we're good to accept them. All right, so all in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Excellent. That is done. Correspondence. I don't have anything. Either of you? No?
None.
All right, so let's move on to existing policies. Substitute teachers, B1. None of these had any major updates from the VSBA. Second, I'll just pull it up. I created these almost a month ago, so just want to make sure. Yeah, no updates at all, actually. So this is just a review unless either of you see something in it that doesn't work.
Are there ever circumstances where like they're more than 30 consecutive days? Like what's that?
Might be
I
like a
looked-
long-term
Yeah.
sub, like
Yeah.
a pregnancy leave or,
Mm-hmm.
But you'd be able to, the policy has the ability to go to the AOE to get the, or whatever the organization is, to get the temporary,
Oh, the provisional license.
Right.
right,
Okay.
if necessary.
Okay. So that's covered. Okay. That was the only thing that was weird. Okay.
For like a maternity leave, would you typically get a licensed?
we try to, I mean, I think we try to do that for every route.
Anyway,
If there's certified teachers that are substitutes, even better. It's great.
like retired teachers.
Yeah.
So Tammy, you're good with, I mean,
Yeah, I
it's
think it looks great.
we've had. Kate,
I'm good. I would like to move that we mark policy B1 as reviewed.
how about recommend to the board we mark it as reviewed?
Even better. Recommend to the board that we mark that one as reviewed.
I will second that. Any further comments? Nope. All in
None.
favor?
Aye.
Aye. Excellent. I keep losing my agenda. There it is. B2, volunteers and work study students. This is another one that I don't believe has been updated from the last time. Let me double check. Nope. It is exactly the same as it was when last approved.
So like the final line in the policy says like a person who is on the Vermont Internet sex offender registration not be eligible to be a work study student. Does it have that same line for to be a volunteer?
Does not appear to.
So could we just include to be a work study student or a volunteer?
I think that would actually be an excellent idea.
Yeah, and the VSBA model policy, like it's pretty much language for language with that. Like, I think.
Mark, can you add an A before the word work? Perfect.
I will also run that by Sandra over at the VSBA, just to make sure we're not going afoul of any legal requirements.
They all have to go through the background check, so I'm imagining that a volunteer wouldn't pass the background check if they were on that list.
So
The
that
other
might be
question,
where it like covers
Yeah.
that. Okay.
Right.
my other question is there more than one sex offender registry? Because internet sex offender registry seems pretty specific.
Yeah, like, is that the title of the one that lives on the internet, or is there like, I think it's just one, I want to say. Because I do check my neighborhood every now and again.
You stalker, you.
No, I just check it, and
kidding.
there's one that's like, yeah, but it's one of those things like if the trial hasn't gone, then the person isn't on the list yet. So
Right, they have to be convicted.
yep. So if the trial hasn't gone through, then yeah.
It's not even pulling up for me for some reason. I'm just getting a blank screen.
On the VSBA one?
No, on the vermont.gov website for sex offender registry. It's not a blank screen. I'm just the middle set. I'm getting the header and the footer of the web page, but not the actual content. It's really kind of strange.
What browser? Are you in Chrome or something, or?
Yeah, I'm on a Chromebook, so it's all I have. Okay, well, this came up on a very different page. So I really wonder why it has the word internet in it.
So do they often put minors on that list? Like, as a work study student, my assumption would be that it would be a minor, but maybe it's not. Maybe that would be also be like a college student or something too, but I just thought that was a post-secondary. Okay. All right. Yeah, they would, yeah, never mind.
My suggestion would be that we recommend that this be warned, because I think while it's just a couple of words, I think adding volunteer is actually substantive change. And in the meantime, I'm going to check with the VSBA on both the word internet and adding the volunteer, and hopefully get an answer before our next board meeting, which is a week and a half, so almost a week and a half. So if either of those are an issue, we can skip it when we come to the board meeting and come back to it.
Okay.
Does that sound reasonable to you two?
Yes.
Smart.
So Kate, you want to make the motion?
I will make the motion that we recommend to the board that we warn policy B2 based on a small change in wording.
I will second that. Any other comments, questions, soliloquies, anything?
None.
None. All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay. Moving through these. B7, tobacco prohibition. Loading slowly.
So we're assuming that tobacco substitutes would include like vaping products?
And
I think that probably would be a question for a lawyer. I don't know what Vermont has done in regards to classifying those products.
In some regards, it seems this policy is a little bit dated then, in my opinion.
Give me 1 second. I have a list from the VSBA on policies that they are currently working on updating. I'm pretty sure that was not on it. Otherwise, I would have taken it off our agenda, but let me double check.
so the legislator on Vermont.gov says tobacco substitute means product including electronic cigarettes or other electronic or battery powered devices that contain or are designed to deliver nicotine or other substance into the body through the inhalation of vapor that have not been approved by the U.S. Food and Drug Administration for tobacco cessation or other medical purposes. Oh, that could get really funny, like with the I don't know all the language for medicinal laws.
Well, I think anything that would be medically prescribed.
I think you have to be at home, don't you? Like there's, yeah.
Well, I mean, as long as it's got a medically prescribed and it's on label, so it's what the FDA has approved it for. I mean, I can't imagine any situation where a doctor says you have to smoke. But if they did and the FDA approved it for that purpose, it would have to be allowed. But I can't see that being a case.
But at this time, I feel like our policy is in line with the VSBA policy. And based on that definition of tobacco substitutes, it seems like I think we can move forward with recommending this is reviewed.
I agree, definitely. Thank you for looking that up, Kate.
Yes, thank you. And I also will, it is not on a list of policies that the VSBA is currently reviewing, but I will ask them to at least take a look at it. Because a couple of the policies that I've asked them to look at are on that list. So at least to make sure that it does cover everything that that a K through 12 environment should have it covered. All right, Kate, so you're making a motion to recommend that we recommend to the board we mark it as reviewed?
Yes, please.
I will second that. Any other comments?
None.
Oh, all right, all in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Excellent. So next we've got B22A, public comment. This is just simply a renumbering. We readopted, I believe. Nope, we adopted it for the first time, I guess, in April of last year. We adopted this and B22 at the same time, but this is our own policy. This is not a VSBA or state mandated one. So I just want to change the numerically to B50 so that it fits in with our numbering scheme.
Okay.
And can't remember if we have to rewarn it. Why don't we play it safe and rewarn it?
I move that we mark B50, which was previously B22A, as so, and recommend to the board that we warn it, just to share that we renumbered it based on the new procedures.
I will second that. Any other comments? Just, I quite honestly, I did not reread this, just because we had adopted it relatively recently, but if you guys want to take a second to read it, if you haven't already, to make sure that it is what we'd want it to be.
I'm okay with it.
I would agree. Tammy?
Yeah, looks good.
All right. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Excellent. Okay, let's move on to D5, animal dissection. This is another one that yeah, so on D5, and in the one that was adopted October 2nd, 2017, there was included all the footnotes. And in big bold letters underneath the footnotes, it says, don't include these footnotes in your actual policy. So they are removed in the new version. There's at least one or two like that, I think, that we're dealing with today. So I think that probably should be rewarned. Even though it's really more of a clerical correction. What do you think?
It doesn't hurt to just rewarn it. So yeah, we can move it forward to the board that we recommend that we mark this as warned based on the change of removing the footnote that was recommended be removed from the VSBA model. Does that give us enough detail so we can remember exactly what we were talking about? I'm trying to
Yes. Yeah.
remember that I don't remember things from one week to the next. So.
And I'm taking notes. So not that I'm gonna be able to read the notes tomorrow, but I'm taking them at least. I will second that. Tammy, I don't know how much dissection is done in elementary schools, if any.
Very little. We don't, yeah, no, this doesn't really take place
Okay.
in the schools.
I don't even think there's anything rogue going on in the forest. Like, I'm pretty sure that they teach respect for all life and all of those things. So
Yeah.
Yep.
All right. It is a required policy though, so they really should have required policies for different bands, maybe. Although that would throw us into two bands at the tail end. So anyway, any other comments or questions? Nope. So
Looks
all in
good.
favor? Aye.
Aye.
Great. That is D5. Let's move on to D6. This is another one of the policies where we had to remove the footnotes. I knew there was at least one more. So it was the same situation as D5.
Yep. And I read through the policy and I don't see any issues with the policy itself.
Hey, Matt.
Hey guys, how's it going?
Good. How are you doing?
Good.
Okay.
All ready for the testing?
Well, just as we thought, lots of 100 pages of guidance and zero support. So it's going to be something we'll have to figure out how to roll out with our current staff and whoever else we might be able to convince into coming and helping us. So
You really have to wonder what's going through minds up in Montpelier this year. I mean, the difference in guidance from last year to this year. I mean, it has to be political.
yeah, it's like not it. Everyone's like, not my problem.
Is there anybody like a volunteer fire departments like that could get involved in like helping out with this, or like parents, or like, you know what I mean? Like, is that something of that nature where like if we ask for community support, do you think that would help?
Yeah, I think so. I think no, I don't want to derail your meeting, guys, by the way, I'm sorry.
No worries.
Okay.
But I think that the direction, Bill is contacting the Vermont Technical College nursing program in Brattleboro to see if maybe some nursing students might be interested in coming up for 2 hours a day to be able to be deployed to any number of schools at any given time to respond, because the response will need to be within a few hours, right? I mean, we're going to find out, and then we're going to have people there the next day. So he's going to check with them, but I don't know if they've thought about first responders. I know they contacted rescue, and rescue is just out straight. But I don't know if he's thought about maybe contacting the local fire departments. There are some training. There is some training required to administer the testing. So we'll have to get all of our nurses trained and all of our admin assistants trained and all the principals trained and whoever else we can, get on board. So our nurse is going to be easy. So sorry, I'm laughing. We have no nurse.
I was going to say the nurse doesn't need any training.
I was just seeing if you guys were checking,
I was like, does Dover have a nurse? I know we don't have one in Wardsboro.
We do in Spirit. We have a Spirit nurse.
It's
I know
called Matt and
Boo-Boo's
Tammy and Jen and Lori.
Jen and Lori, right? Yeah.
I told Tammy I was going to try to twist Drew Hazelton's arm into offering some assistance. Every time I talk to him, which is usually multiple times a week, he's like, yeah, the Department of Health just threw this other thing on us. We don't really have the ability to do it, but we'll find a way. So maybe I can twist his arm.
I think too, like there's 3 layers. There's the surveillance testing, and then there's the response testing, and then the test to stay. And, they're obviously prioritizing the test to stay, which makes perfect sense. But that's going to be like a flare up item. And it's going to be, you might have 3 buildings that need 6 people to do
At
it
the same time.
at any given day. So you kind of have a crew that can move. And then when they're not doing that, what are they doing? Because you don't want to say, hey, we're going to call you on Thursday night so you can come in on Friday morning. You need to have some consistency. So then it makes sense to have those folks do like the surveillance testing. So when we're not in crisis mode, we're just going to pick away at a schedule, and we'll do the surveillance testing, a couple grades on Monday, a couple grades on Tuesday, and by the end of the week, we get them all done, kind of thing.
Did they discuss centralizing just a location so that we're not having to duplicate efforts anywhere?
Yeah, we didn't discuss that, but that would be a good recommendation to Bill. We did talk about how, although they're not, it's not that they can't ride the bus. We feel like riding the bus, if they're, categorized as requiring, the testing. I'm sorry, I'm listening to my radio as well. So the idea of having that testing happen at the school so the parents can wait, because if the kids have to go home, they're going to need a ride home. And do we want them on the bus if they're positive? Probably not,
No.
right? We're exposing all these other groups of people. So it's really got to be a situation where parents drive to a location, whether it's the
Right.
school or not. They swab the nose, they wait the 20 minutes, and if it's a thumbs up, then they can go off to work and the kid can go in. And if not, then they have to take the kid home until tomorrow. They can do it every day, I guess.
I wonder if we could use our town halls even. So
Yeah,
that they're
town
not
halls
going
would
to the
be
school.
good. Yeah, Bill asked us to be thinking about a location indoors, because it's fine now, to have them outside, but in 2-3 months, it's going to be, you're going to have, even if you have 20-30 kids waiting outside for 20 minutes when it's 10 degrees, it's going to be, it's not sustainable either,
Well, hopefully the vaccination comes, as they say it's going to, and that a lot of parents take advantage of it. So we won't have to necessarily go through the process.
Yeah.
Do you know if Bill contacted Deerfield Valley Rescue?
I don't know if he did. He didn't mention that he did.
Maybe I'll send him a short email. Just
Yeah.
technically, I'm a member of Deerfield Valley Rescue. At least I still have the pager. So that's
The policy's coming.
great.
Cruising through them, actually. Mark is so prepared.
We're already on class size. So
Yeah.
we're on letter F already. And class size, the only recommendation is that we're pretty much just taking out the little footnotes at the bottom. So based on that, I would like to move that we warn the policy to the board, just because we are removing the footnotes from one version to the next, but no other changes on that policy. So I move that we mark this policy as warned to the board for the next meeting.
I will second that. Matt, you want to take a quick minute and just read through the policy?
Yeah, that's what I'm doing. We're basically leaving it to the superintendent to work with the administration.
Right.
Right. Which to me makes the most sense.
Yeah, it looks good to me.
Okay. All in favor, marking it as, or warning it because of the
Warning.
elimination of the footnotes? Aye.
Aye.
Excellent. So we are on to travel reimbursement, F1.
Excuse me, guys, I'm just going to go close my door. Give me just a second.
And F1, don't think. I don't think there are any changes, and it's the same policy that WCSU just voted to warn as well.
Previously, yeah, we've had this previously. So
Yes.
we warned it, yeah, adopted it last on 12/4/2017.
Yeah, so unless one of you sees something that you'd like adjusted, we can mark it as reviewed.
Matt or Tammy, do you guys have anything any red flags? Okay,
Looks great.
No,
Straightforward.
looks good to me. Yeah.
okay.
Kate, you want to make the motion?
I would like to move that we mark this policy F1 as reviewed to the board on the next board meeting. So
I was gonna say, I did say mark as reviewed, but recommend that we mark it as reviewed. I will second that. Any further comments? Nope, all in favor?
aye.
Wow,
Efficiency.
Matt, you arrived just in time.
Always like arriving at the end.
So let's take a quick look at E1, which was reissued by the VSBA very recently. Trying to find. I don't know if it's just me, but the VSBA's website is really slow to load.
It says that we just reviewed this on 6/7.
Right, and then VSBA reviewed it after that, and I have not looked to see what if any
it's the
difference.
footnotes again. There's a bunch of footnotes.
I have to pull up ours. Is this one that it says remove the footnotes before you?
Yes. That's in bold at the beginning.
Yeah, so I think that's probably the only difference.
It looks kind of like, oh, okay, I see. They've highlighted things the things that need to be customized.
I'm sorry, I'm having a hard time pulling up our current one. There we go.
I will have to say that COVID has definitely made this policy more challenging as an administrator, just the parent involvement piece.
When we did the pre-K arrival day before school started, that
Right.
there was one of my neighbors, it was the first time they had ever set foot in the school building, and their child has been there for a full year.
Right.
And I used to walk in there every day.
Every
'cause I
morning.
drop off the oldest, so the youngest had some exposure to seeing the building. So, but man, it's kind of crazy, the before times to the now times.
I have a couple of friends that have kids in kindergarten at Dover, and they are really unhappy about not having been able to even see the classroom. And they understand, but it's got to be really hard.
Yes.
Yeah, it is.
The teacher in that classroom has done a really good job of using the Remind app now to share photos of things that before it might have just been an exchange, an in-person exchange. She'll share something that they worked on or did, so there's some visuals that make it nice.
Good.
Do you guys see any differences besides the footnotes?
Boy, I have not scrutinized it to that level, holding them side by side. And I'm pretty sure our policy is 8 pages.
Yeah.
Right?
With the
Yeah, one of
percentages,
8.
Yeah.
So I tell you what, I don't want to rush this. So why don't we put it on the agenda for next time?
Great.
And I will do a side-by-side comparison and see whether there are any changes. So we'll put this and C26 on the agenda for next time. And just got too many windows open. There are
Mark, what is C26? I'm sorry. I'm just not seeing it on our list.
C26.
Right.
Got to give me a second. I don't remember.
D26 is tuition payment, according to the VSBA one.
Right. And we don't have a C26 listed.
Recommended. Anyway, it's not a required.
It's right. All right, then let's ignore what I said. Maybe I've got the wrong number in my brain. I had taken it off for a while we had it on the agenda. We were just waiting for VSBA to pump it out, and I don't remember what it was. So we'll skip that. I will get whatever it was on for next month. Just not really for the, yeah, it was C26. Because we were waiting for legal for VSBA's legal counsel to vet the policy. And I don't remember why. I'll have to go back and look through our minutes. But the other policies that they are currently reviewing are A30, which is role and adoption of school board policies, A31, board member education, A32, board goal setting and evaluation, C2, student alcohol and drugs, C7, student attendance, and C8, pupil privacy. And I think C8 was supposed to be on our agenda today, and I took it off because of they're reviewing it. So those will be coming in the somewhat near future. And then on top of that, the VSBA, the VSA, and maybe the VPA got a grant, $100,000 grant to essentially do some equity work. And they've hired a couple of people, and part of what they're going to be doing is reevaluating all of the policies from an equity perspective. So over the coming months, couple of years, we very well may see a whole bunch of changes just from that perspective of different policies. So just throwing that out there. Any of you have any policies that you'd like to discuss?
I had one that came up recently. I think it's probably okay, but in Dover, we used to have a school bus discipline policy. And it's not anywhere in the current policies that I've seen. I don't know if you guys remember any of, if it's there somewhere, but what we did was we just kind of converted it into a procedure under student conduct and discipline in the handbook, and it's worked perfectly. I don't feel like we need to necessarily have a policy, but it was something that came up recently, and I just thought I'd mention it today to see if any of you guys felt like that was something we needed to have or not. It's, yeah.
I guess I'd turn that around to you and Tammy and say, do you feel like you need some backing for that procedure?
I don't. I think I was able to, go through the situation with the student and the family according to the procedure. Was, that's the thing I changed in the letter home, was according to the procedure. I changed that from policy. And it was fine. I mean, the ultimate goal is to address the behavior. And I think the procedure is adequate. It's a little formal and maybe a little scary because it talks about, like, strike one is a warning. Strike two is that you're kicked off the bus for a week. So it's pretty severe. Strike three, you're off the bus for a month, that kind of thing. So it's like, it's a very low tolerance for bad behavior on the bus. And honestly, I think the last time I had an entry in my log was April of 2019 or something like that. So it's pretty rare.
I don't know why. For some reason, I remember reading something very much like that. Not that long, and it may not have been about buses. It may have been about discipline. But do you two feel that with the procedure, you can fall back on the discipline policy if you needed to?
I do. I don't know about
I
you, Tam.
do.
What do you think?
Yeah, no, I do too. And I feel like just because our transportation systems are different right now, we need a little bit of flexibility because we do, contract out with West River. So Matt, you might have a little bit more of a say than we do in some instances.
Yeah, so I think we're good. If you guys are okay with that, and especially given the fact that we have a variety of ways that we're addressing transportation at the moment, it's probably better to leave that flexibility there.
I'm all for that. And I'd say if something does come up, as you would anyway, and you don't feel like you have enough backing from policies, come to us and we'll get something together for you.
Will do.
Tammy, any policies that you wanted to? Nope. Kate?
Nope.
No. Okay. Then no other business. Our next meeting is November 12th at 9 a.m. and after that, December 10th at 9 a.m. And we have our kind of standing list of future agenda items that we put together over the previous couple of meetings. And if everybody is good, we will adjourn. All
Really?
good?
Perfect.
Excellent. Matt and Tammy, thank you very much for coming, especially after
You're
the
welcome.
meeting you had.
Yeah. Tammy, I have a couple of items I could update you on if you want to stay. I took some notes.
Are we able to do that with Mark being the host? Mark, can you transfer it over or should we hop on a different meeting?
Oh, we probably should, because this is an official meeting. We should probably do an alternative one.
I can, if I transfer it over to, I'm going to stop the recording. We're adjourned at 11:55.